Farmers Certified Mills, keeping our nose to the grindstone. You've heard that expression before.
Yeah.
So that was the mill back there. My dad worked there for a while.
And who owned that mill?
Well, the owner, or at least the guy who ran it, was Gene Carey, C-A-R-E-Y, lived in New Hampton. Say my dad worked for him. And I don't know how. Farmers Certified Mills. I don't know who owned it. Maybe he did. Can't remember.
And did they take the feed out to the farmers then, or did they have to come in?
The farmers would come into town.
They had to come in and get
Saturday mornings particularly, there was row upon row of farmers
picking
coming
up
in.
their feed.
Yeah. So then back to Main Street, and it was a long building where Benny Cussworth had his pizza place, which I don't remember very well because I was away in school. Anyway, on the east end was Doc Breen, dentist, DDS. He was just kind of a stern guy. Didn't smile much. So we'd go down twice a year, once a year, whatever it was. And I was in the chair, and I can still see that ugly dark green mirror. God, it was ugly. Oh, terrible. And then he would start drilling, and of course, he did not have the water drills that we have today. This was the old, oh God, it was hot. Oh my God, it would burn. And one day, I couldn't take it anymore, and I bit him. I bit him on the thumb. I think it was the thumb. So he turns off the damn green light, thank God, and says, "Come here." So I got out of the chair. He went over and signed something and says, "Take this over to your dad," who was working at the mill at the time. So I ran through the alley, gave it to Dad. He looked at me. He says, "Take this back to Doc." I said, "Okay, fine." I thought, boy, this is it. I'm done.
Could you read what it said,
No.
or were you too little?
No. I was 8 or 9 years old,
Okay.
probably.
Okay.
And I go back and give it to him. He takes me to the back room and paddles my butt four or five times. And Dad gave permission. You know, back in those days, you didn't question if the dentist said, "This kid bit me," you didn't argue.
Oh my Lord.
So if he tanned my butt, not a big deal. And on the west end of that,
Did he finish your tooth then?
Yeah.
After he paddled you,
Yeah.
then you had to cry through it and finish it.
Those were terrible days of dentistry.
And was there Novocaine or anything?
Yes,
Yeah.
but still that hot drill, I can still feel it 80 years later, 75 years later. It was just so hot. You just couldn't take it. Anyway, on the west end was Millie Fensel's beauty shop. Millie was a great lady. She and her husband,
Was it Hank?
Henry,
Yeah.
ran an excavating business up by the water tower. Congratulations, graduates of 1959, Fensel Brothers Company, Sand, Gravel, Excavating. Henry was such a nice man. He was such a great guy. And so was Millie. Millie was a kind of a character. She was fun. And then next to that would be a tavern. Wells, can't remember his first name. Wells ran it for a while, which I don't really remember, but I know that they did. Oh, Eddie Sheridan, Bill's dad and mother, had a furniture store in there. I don't think it lasted very long, but I kind of remember it. And then it became a tavern. Let's see, who had it first? Shuley's, S-J-U-L-L-E-S, something like that. They ran it. They lived upstairs. And then Elmer Pitts and his wife ran the joint. Didn't go in there very much. Anyway, they were fine people, good people. And then across the street, west, was the lumberyard. And it was called, where the hell is it? It was called, I think I would miss that. Let me find this.
It wasn't Hemsots yet then.
No.
No.
It was J.F. Anderson Company Lumberyard.
Okay.
Paul Checkle and his wife Ruth ran it when I was a kid, and then towards the late 50s, Ed and Elvina came and ran the joint, which was a great lumberyard. There again, I had no reason to go there very much, but Mom and Dad did, and they were great people, took care of their needs, so great people. And then at the end of the lumberyard, going west across the street, was the famous Martin Doyle. I think he sold some equipment and otherwise repair equipment. He and his wife Lil. And I'd go there Friday afternoon to collect, and Lil would be behind the desk, and we'd kibitz a little bit about something. All of a sudden, who comes through the door but MV, a real character. So he.
Who's MD?
MV, Martin Doyle.
Okay.
So he'd come through the door and ask me what grade are you in and who's the nun and that kind of stuff. I was 11 years old. And the Sunday paper was 20 cents. So I'd wait and he'd say, Lil, give the lad 15 cents and tell him to get the hell out of here. All I did was laugh, because MV was a character. Right, so there was the jail.
I want to ask a question. What paper did you deliver?
Des Moines Register.
Des Moines Register, okay.
From 5 years.
Okay, all right.
56 to 61. And it was fun with my dog Jet, my Cocker Spaniel dog Jet. But in the wintertime it was brutal. Oh, it was just so brutal. Anyway, at the end, when I gave it up, I had $600 saved in Des Moines. They kept a certain amount of. And I got my first car, a '57 Chev, with the $600 I had. And then I had a little spending money, of course.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So it was a great thing. You got to meet people. You had a responsibility to get the paper out and collect, and so it was great training. Great training.
Yeah.
I never did much with it, but it was great training. So then I talked about the jail. Behind MV Doyle's, there was a water tower, good old water tower. And Mike Leonard, we called it Turd Run, the little thing that ran through town, still runs through town. And he'd lay on his dog, what was it? I used to name it dog. Anyway, Skip. He'd lay on Skip's doghouse and shoot pigeons off the water tower. He must have killed 9 million of them because he was always out there shooting pigeons. And
and did he use a BB gun?
No. He used a rifle.
He did.
And don't tell me what it was.
Yeah.
But I can still see him laying there. Mike was a character, just like his father for him. Anyway, good guy. So then east of that was, the jail, and then east of that was the hardware. He had a big, long building to the west of the original store. And we used to go in there, and when we couldn't skate outside, we would skate in there. It was a big building.
Okay.
And then the main building.
Roller skate or ice skate? Roller skating.
Yeah. And then the main building, run by Frank Eickhoff, the richest man in town. When he died, he had like $6 million or something like that. Gave it all to charity. Every charity.
Imagine.
North of the Mason-Dixon line. He just gave it all away. So we didn't know him very much.
And was he ever married?
No.
He never married.
He lived with his sister Anna and their dog what did she call the dog? Well, and then she had 2 other sisters living in Chicago who also did not marry. So Frank, when we were sliding down the hill in those days, they blocked off the street so we could slide at night, during the day and at night. And we'd be sliding down the hill, walking back up, and there'd be a light coming on up at Frank's second floor. And he had his one-piece winter thing on. And we look and just look at him, all of a sudden, bing, the light out, and Frank went to bed. Yeah, it was every night we sled, and we sled every night. So anyway, Red, Leo Reilly, Louis Arns, Joe Goss worked there in the afternoons after he got off the route, and Yeggs Lansing.
Yeah.
Yeggs was, I don't know, he was just around.
And was Gordy Spilson there?
Gork, yes,
Yeah,
I forgot
Gordy
about
was-
Gork. Yeah, I call him Gork. Yeah, he was in there. Not originally, but he eventually worked there. So it was a great store. Great store. Went over there on Saturday mornings with Dad, and he would buy whatever the hell he bought. I remember those great walks and going in there, and it was a good store, good hardware store.
It was kind of a gathering space also, wasn't it? And kind of, or not really so
Not
much?
really.
Okay.
Not really so much, no.
Okay.
And then across the street going east, Larson's Grocery Store, Zetha Larson ran it, a saint on earth if there ever was one. She ran it and then got out of the business, and Bob Shackleton ran the joint, and it burned down on a Sunday morning. I remember, as Yates would say, I remember distinctly the fire on a Sunday morning. They sent Bob Shackleton, I say, was the owner, and they tied a rope around Yeggs and sent him in to get the money out of the safe. Yeah, and he did it.
He got it?
As far as I know, he got it, yes. That was quite a deal. And behind there, across Third Run to the south, Lester Bergerson had his shop, sold New Idea. Is it New Idea? No. Bergerson Implement. Oliver, the phone number's 10. Oliver, a New Idea dealer.
Okay.
So he had a nice little business there. He got that after he worked for Martin Doyle before Martin died, and then went over there and built his building. Anyway, Larson's store burned down. Right east of there were 2 buildings that burned. One was Argos Meat Locker, seems to me, and the other one was maybe a watch. They sold watches in there. I don't remember who owned that, but I remember the day they burned down. At least the east one burned down, and I was looking out the window, and they were moving stuff out of Stevie's Cafe. So it wouldn't burn, and it didn't burn there. Thank God, because that was the greatest place on earth. Stevie's best, I think, called best hamburgers in town. Is how he sold the place. Murrow was a character. I thought I had it right there, but I think it said the best hamburgers in town. Stevie's Cafe. That was Campbell Stevenson.
Okay.
They called it Stevie's. So they ran that joint. Wonderful. Card games all the time. Murr was a real hell of a swell fella. Nicest guy in the world. Ran the joint. And there'd be a card game near the bathroom, and then a card game closer to the bar, and somebody was always spilling their beer. And a lady worked in there, Evelyn Kirby. She was a friend of Myra's, whom they met during WW2, and he hated to say, "Bar egg, Kirby, bar egg, Kirby. Why don't you guys," she was kind of rough. "Why don't you guys learn to put the beer down? Oh, forget it. Get out of here." So that was constantly going on. And then next door to that was the bank, of course. I was hired by Vince Kelly, the Timlin's grandfather, in the fall of 1963. And I started working there the 1st of November in 1963. Vince was kind of a character too, a great guy. After he hired me, I barely ever talked to him because he was doing loans and I was doing bookkeeping with Shirley Wurzer, who was the greatest of all time. So his son-in-law, Vince's son-in-law, Gene Tillman, worked there, and later on his wife, Jean, and Arnie Argel. We posted together every morning in a room off the front door, and he would tell me stories, World War II stories. He was in Iceland and landed in Normandy D plus 90 days, and he would have some great stories. He was kind of a character too.
How did you get the job at the bank?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was working at the Conoco station for Norb Arms during high school. And Vince Kelly came down, I think in August, September, and he said, "My grandkids say you don't know what you're going to do, whether to go to school or not." And I said, "No, I haven't made up my mind, Mr. Kelly. I want you to come and work for me." I didn't even have to apply. I said, "Well, I don't know if I'm working in a bank. My math skills are not very good." Well, so that was it.
And that was before you went to college?
That was before I went to school. So I worked there for 63 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, 3 or 4 years, and then went to school. Yeah.
Okay.
A good guy, good family. I grew up with the Tillman boys. They were characters. Good guys. Good guys. And then next to them...
Can I back you up?
Yeah.
Is that then after he left, is that when Willis came? Or was there...
Actually, after Vince left and died, his son-in-law, Gene Tillman, ran the joint for a few years. And then eventually, I was away at school, so I was not there when it changed hands. And that's when Willis stepped in. I think 1969 rings a bell.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that was fine. And then next door was Casey and Griffin Grocery Store. Bill was kind of a straight guy, little guy, very nice man. And then his partner was the great Rusty Griffin. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Rusty was always making up words, and he brought the people in. Not that Bill didn't. Bill probably had his own customers, but Rusty Griffin was just out of sight. Good friend of my dad's back in their drinking days. He was so much fun.
And like, what kind of words did he make up?
Well, I can't tell you. I don't know the
you
words.
Just remember.
I don't know the words because I didn't go in there very much except to buy baseball cards. Because we did most of our shopping at Benny Nolte and my aunt, Mary Minerva Nolte. So I'd go in there and buy baseball cards. And when we were in Ireland in 1978, walking down the street some town, and I came to this grocery store, and they had the front, and then it would be indented to the door. And I said, "My God, it's Casey and Griffin." I could smell peanuts, just like, I said, no wonder that's how they built the store, because that's the way it was in the old land.
Okay.
They were great. And then the liquor store, the state store, we talked about that.
And that would be Spells Plumbing and Heating which, is that the building?
Yes.
Okay.
That burnt, that they tore down.
Yep.
Yeah. Marie Speltz owned it. Boy, what a lady she was. Oh my God. She was so much fun. Oh my. Anyway, the bottle shop, as we called it, the state store, There's a guy from New Hampton, I can't think of his name, something like Runyon, ran it. And then my cousin Jack Quillen ran it until he died. And then it kind of went away.
Mm-hmm.
How we doing, Kyle?
Good.
Okay. So that was the bottle shop. And then next door was
So do you
post office.
remember when they had to sign the little alcohol little booklets?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was those called again? The
Can't remember.
I can't remember that. The little booklets, and you had to sign when you
Yeah.
bought alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
All
right. I worked for Zitha, who at that time, after the store, she sold the store, worked at the bottle shop.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so arthritic, her hands were like this. And she put the booze away, but she had to cut up the boxes to send back. So she couldn't do it. She had called the house and, Mom, is Joe handy after school? Sure. Could you send him down? So I'd sneak through the back alley. There was a little entrance. Go in there and hide so people wouldn't see me because I was 15 years old, something like that. So I'd cut up the boxes for Zitha. And she always paid me like $5, which was more than she was making that day, I would think. But she was a saint. She was just so fun. And a wonderful, wonderful lady. Just a wonderful lady. And then the post office, Florence Goss, Joe Goss's mother, was a postmistress. Worked with Bob Sheehy. And Cootie Keefe. You got to talk about Lawler back in that day. You got to talk about Cootie. He was something else. And then my grandpa was a mail carrier, retired in 1952. Worked there 37 years as a mail carrier. One of the great stories he can tell about being out in the wintertime with a horse and
Is that how he delivered mail?
Yeah.
By horse?
Yeah. I mean horse and buggy, of course.
And was that Grandpa Shepherd?
Grandpa Shepherd.
Okay.
Charles LeGee Shepherd. Good old Grandpa.
And what was Cootie's job?
Cootie was a mail carrier. He took over after Grandpa.
Oh, he took over after
Yeah,
Grandpa.
1952-ish.
Okay.
I remember Joe Goss telling me the story that they were asked, the mail carriers, when you're out and you're out, how many pheasants did you see this fall?
Mm-hmm.
So Goss came back, he saw 15. 15, at least 15. Cootie came back, never saw one. Squilk worked. No. Pheasants were flying over the hood, over the car, in front of him. He came back, never reported, never seen one. That was Cootie. So that was the post office. That was fun. I got my papers every morning. The paper, the Des Moines Register would come in on the train. Cobb Larson had this where he put the papers and the other mail on top of this carriage. Had great big wheels, and he would take them over to the post office where I was waiting. I'd cut them up, and away we went. Cobb. Charlie Larson was his name, but he was known as Cobb.
So he's the one Dan Blazek talked about ice skating?
Yes,
That
yes.
was him.
He was a tough little guy, really a tough little guy. He and his wife, Maud Murray, didn't have any children, but he'd be ice skating out there as an old man. I mean, in his 60s probably. He was a tough character. Nice guy, hell of a swell fella, as Donald Lansing would say. So anyway, that's the post office. And then Red O'Connor's store. And how the hell did he market himself? Mary Jane.